Hi guys, today is Monday, November 30th, so tomorrow this will be Tuesday, December 1st. Holy cow, we are at December. Wow, I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving with maybe family, maybe some close friends, whoever was in your little bubble. Hope you stayed safe, hope you ate some good food and created some good memories. So today is going to be a quieter class. I would say a softer class. It's not going to be very flowy at all. It's going to be hip focused. Hip flexibility and also building some strength in the hips, because a lot of times what we think is inflexibility is really lack of strength. So these poses are going to help to build strength as well as improve flexibility. So what you're going to need is you're going to need your mat. You're going to need some blocks or stacked books or stacked towels or blankets. You will need some stacked blankets because there's going to be a pose or two that I'm going to have you guys sit your hips up on to raise it up just to make it a little bit more comfortable. And you are going to need a strap or a long towel or a tie or whatever you can use to wrap around your feet. So go ahead, we're going to all start off laying down on our backs. I'm just going to push my blocks forward a little bit just so I don't bump those. So go ahead and lay on down, get comfortable, settle in. Let the outside world go. Bring your awareness onto yourself and onto your breathing. And so, I'm just going to set up to read my quote for today, sorry. So my quote today is, we are all going through something. We are all going through something. So yes, we are all dealing with the COVID stuff. And yes, for lack of better words, it sucks. But every one of us has something else in addition to COVID going on right now. I know it seems like COVID's like the all-consuming, but every one of us has something else going on right now in our lives. Maybe there are great things that are going on, and hey, that's wonderful. Maybe there are things that, aren't the most pleasant. Maybe you're feeling very sad because you're missing family who lives far away. Maybe you're not feeling quite yourself because you haven't been able to socialize with friends or family. Maybe you're feeling lonely. Maybe you are feeling overwhelmed by all the COVID and the vaccines and all the information or misinformation or everything COVID I feel overwhelmed with because I feel like but whatever it is, we're all going through something. And my advice is try not to pass judgment on somebody else because they do or do not respond or behave or say the thing that you think they should or how you believe they should, because we don't know what else they are going through. We can only see the outside. We can only see that everybody's going through COVID. We can only see that, your neighbor never waves at you or, whatever. I'm just pulling things out of the air. But we don't know what goes on behind closed doors or in somebody's house or in somebody's heart or in somebody's mind. So try not to pass that judgment because we all are going through something. So maybe if somebody says something or does something that irks you, maybe have a little bit of kindness and say, hey, they're having an off day, and send them some love, send them some kindness. Take a couple more breaths right where you're at. And then on your next inhale, reach those arms up overhead and stretch those legs down long. Full body stretch, stretch, stretch. And then exhale, bend the knees, and then pull the knees into your chest, hug onto those knees, rock side to side a few times. And then drop your feet back down to your mat. Take the knees wide, bring the bottoms of your feet together. Take your right hand to your heart, your left hand to your belly, and close your eyes and set your intention for today's practice. And then bring the bottoms of your feet back to the floor. Step your feet out a few times. And then grab your strap. And you're going to put the strap on the ball of your right foot. And then shoot that right leg up towards your sky. So, right leg is up to the sky. Your right foot is flexed. The strap is on that foot. You've got a strap in each hand. That left knee can stay bent like mine is, or it can go down straight. Whichever feels better for your low back. If it's too taxing to have it straight, keep it bent. It's totally fine. So you're just going to keep that foot hard flexed. That right leg, try and keep it straight. Okay? If it's hard for you to have your leg straight up in the air and still keep it straight, lower it towards, or lower that leg away from you. So that way maybe you can get the knee more straight. I'd rather have the knee straight than have the leg up higher and it be really bent like this. So try to keep that right leg as straight as you can. And just let it hang here, stretching the whole back side of that right leg, getting into that bottom of the butt, the bottom of the hip, right? Take a breath or two here. And then you're going to switch the straps, both of them, into the right hand. Your left arm's going to come out to a T. And you're going to open that right leg out to the side, holding onto the strap. If you didn't want to use the strap in these poses, you certainly don't have to. I like using the strap because, not because it's easier, but because I feel like I can hold the pose longer and I can get deeper in a way. If you don't use the strap, you end up building more strength, and that's fine. I'm going for more flexibility here right now. I'm using the strap. On your next inhale, raise that right leg back up to the sky. Switch the straps into your left hand. The right arm's going to come out to a T now. And then you're just going to take that right leg past midline so you start to feel it in your outer hip or your abductors, your abductors. Take a few breaths here. And then inhale that right leg back up to center. Bend that right knee into your chest. Remove the strap. Go ahead and stop your feet out a little bit. And then you're going to take the strap and put it on the ball of that left foot and then shoot that left leg high into the air. Again, I want the leg more towards straight. So if you got to lower the leg down towards the earth more to keep it straighter, fine, do that. If you can have it up higher and still keep it straighter, then great. But keep that left foot nice and hard flexed. Again, you're feeling it up the back of the calf, the back of the knee, the back of the thigh, into the bottom of the hips or the bottom of the bottom. Again, that right knee can be bent like mine is, or the right leg can be straight. Whatever feels better for your low back. And then take those straps, both of them into the left hand, right arm comes out to a T, and you're going to open that right leg or that left leg out to the side. Again, if you don't want to use the strap, you'd be building more strength. With the strap, you're building more flexibility. Next inhale, come back up to center, switch the straps into your right hand, left arm comes out to a T, and cross that left leg past midline so you start to feel it in that piriformis muscle. Take a few breaths here. It's a big stretch to that outer hip. And then inhale, come back to center. Bend that left knee to your chest. Remove the strap, set the strap aside. Go ahead and stretch your legs down long and just observe how the legs feel now that they're nice and stretched out in the hips a little bit. Your legs may feel a little longer, a little lighter. And then you can bend your knees and you can roll over to your right side and then come up to a seat. Or you can rock and roll forward and back, and then come up to a comfortable seated position. Once you get to your seated position, crisscross your legs so that the right leg is the one in front or the right leg is the one on top. So we're going to get to the outer hips again a little bit. You're going to sit nice and tall, keeping that right foot hard flexed. And you're just going to walk your hands forward a little bit and fold. Let your head fall and be heavy. Take a breath or two here. And still keep leaning forward. Walk both hands off to the left. Reach long with that right arm. Getting into a little bit different part of that right hip. Maybe up a little higher into the low back, which the hip feeds into. Getting a little side body action. And then inhale, come back to center. And then walk your hands back up. Uncross those legs. Stretch them out, shake them out. And you can cross the left ankle over the right, or you can crisscross the legs with the left leg in front. Either way, that left leg stays hard flexed. And then you're just going to walk your hands down and fold. So this time I'll do it with my legs straight on this side. It just depends which feels better for your body, because we always know the number one rule of yoga is yoga should never hurt. You want to feel stretch, that's fine, but it should never cause you pain. If it's causing you pain, you don't do that pose. And then if you're leaning forward, keep leaning forward, and then walk your hands off to the left and reach long with that left arm. Again, getting into the low back, little side body action. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, walk the hands up. Uncross the legs, shake it on out. And then you're going to swing your legs around and you're going to come into tabletop position. I'm going to turn sideways for this next one for you guys to see a little bit better. So you're in your tabletop position. Your hips are right over your knees. Your belly's pulling in as always. And you're going to take your right ankle and you're going to cross it over the left ankle. So all I do is my knee stayed where it was. I just crossed it over. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of push your right hip out a little bit and back. Out and back. So you're kind of going on a diagonal. So it gets again to that lateral part of that right hip, getting into the low back, that area where it feeds, an area that can be quite sore and tight. Take a breath or two here. Then next inhale, come back on up, uncross that right ankle, shake your hips out a little bit. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So left ankle will lift up and cross over the right ankle. And then you're going to dip those hips out to the left and kind of push back on a diagonal. So you're getting again to that lateral part of that left hip now. Take a breath or two here. And then next inhale, come up, uncross that ankle. And then go ahead and curl your toes under if you'd like and take a downward facing dog, or if you want to push back to child's pose. I'm going to take a dog just because I think it would feel good right here. Just take a breath or two in your dog. Oh, just enjoy. And then you're going to look forward at your hands and you're going to step your right foot forward. If you're coming from child's pose, You'll just come up and come onto your hands and knees and step that right foot forward. So you're setting up for Anjaneyasana, and go ahead and grab your blocks. But I want you to do, instead of doing crane or Anjaneyasana, full crane or Anjaneyasana, I want you to shorten your stance. So don't do as giant of a step forward with that right foot. So pull that right foot back a little bit and go right under the knee. Your blocks are handy in case you need them. Your hands are going to go to your hips if you can do it, or you can keep them on the blocks. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of butt tuck. So tilt your pelvis, like squeeze your, like you're tilting your pelvis forward and squeezing your butt and shooting that butt right down. So keep that action with your hips and your butt, the butt tucking action. And now you're just going to lean forward a little bit and then rock back. And then you're going to go forward, still keep that butt tucked so you don't go as far. And back. One more, go ahead and lean forward. And then lean back. So keep your leg right there. And then you're going to take that right foot off to about a 45-degree angle. Okay? Leg goes off on a 45, foot goes off on a 45. Go ahead and butt tuck that butt again. And then you're going to lean into that 45. And then come back. And then go ahead and lean to that 45. Again, you're not going to go as far because you're butt tucking and pulling the belly in. Come back. And then one more time, lean, lean, lean. And then come back. Take that foot all the way out to a 90-degree angle. So that ankle is right underneath the knee. Like you're almost setting up for gate pose. Go ahead and butt tuck again. Squeeze that belly in. And then go ahead and lean. You're not, again, not as far. And come back. It's kind of like a modified warrior 2. Go ahead and lean again. Come back. One more time. Go ahead and lean. And then exhale, come back. Go ahead and bring that knee down. Place your hands on your blocks and just kind of circle your hips around. Circle them around. Then go the other way. If you want to touch back to a downward facing dog before we switch to the other side, I welcome you to do it now. I'm switching just to the other side. Left foot forward. Again, a shorter stance for setting up for crane. So that left ankle is right underneath that knee. Blocks are there if you need them for balance. It's totally fine. Go ahead and bring your hands to your hips if you like, or again, keep your hands, sorry, I just repeated hands on the blocks. Go ahead and butt tuck. So really tip that pelvis forward, butt tuck, squeeze through the butt, squeeze through the hips, squeeze through the tummy, and then go ahead and lean forward, and then back. Inhale, forward, and back. And one more time, lean forward, inhale. Exhale, back. Go ahead and bring that left block to the inside of that foot. Take that left foot off to a 45-degree angle. Still the knee is over the ankle. Butt tuck again, squeeze everything in, nice and compact through the hips. And then go ahead and lean on a 45. And come back. Go ahead and lean. Keep butt tucking, keep pulling the belly in. Come back. This is where the strength comes, right? Because you can't go as far and you're almost gripping it. One more time. Lean again. And then come back. Take that foot and knee all the way up to a 90-degree angle. You're still as the knees over the ankle. Squeeze through the hips, butt tuck, pull the belly in. Go ahead and lean and go sideways. Come back. Inhale, go ahead and lean. And come back. And one more time, go ahead and lean. And then come back. Go ahead and lower the hands onto the blocks, bring that left knee around. And again, go ahead and do some hip circles. Circle those hips around. And then circle the other way. And if you just want to take your blocks a step forward and just kind of want to arch or lean into your blocks a little bit, just to kind of counter what we just did. And then just push back for a breath for a closed-legged child's pose. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Beautiful. Come back up. Your blocks are still on the high setting. You're going to take your right foot forward and come onto the heels. So we're setting for a big back of the hamstring stretch and getting into that hip and the bottom of the butt again. So you have your hands on your blocks on the high setting. That right foot is flexed hard, and I want you pressing down with that right heel into the mat and pressing with the top of your left foot in the back down. So both feet are pressing down, but in weird kind of positions, right? So keep that action, and then go ahead and try and fold. Again, squeeze through the hips, squeeze through the belly. Keep pressing that right heel down and the top of that left foot down. Take a couple breaths here, getting into that low back, the top of the hip now. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then inhale, come back up. Bend that right knee up. Take that right knee back around. Shake it out a little bit. And then step that left foot forward, straighten that leg out. It doesn't have to be totally straight. You can have that knee slightly bent. But what I do want is I want that left foot flex, and I want that heel pressing down. So you're keeping that foot active all the way to the toes. And I want that right top of the foot pressing down in the back. So both are pressing down. Again, it's an awkward position to press down in. And then once you got that, pull the belly in, squeeze through the hips. And then you can go ahead and fold. Almost. Hi. Hi, sweeties. Hi, honey. Good girl. Good girl. Keep breathing as you're leaning here. Keep pressing both those feet down. Look at this little show off in her down dog. A little show off, huh? Hi, sweetie. And then inhale, slowly come back up. Bend that left knee up. Bring that left knee around. Shake your hips out a little bit. And then again, just press back into a closed-legged child's pose. Take a breath or two here. And then inhale, come back up, tabletop. You have the option to come into a down dog before we come up to a stance. So come into a dog if you'd like, or if you're coming from your knees, you'll step one foot forward, and then you're gonna turn sideways to a wide-legged stance. Having your blocks handy, I'm gonna stay sideways just so you guys can see what it is I'm doing. So your feet are both parallel to the outside edges of the mat. You're in a wide-legged stance. Maybe not quite as wide as your biggest wide, but wide. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna bend those knees. So we're not coming into Malasana or Goddess Squat because you're in a wider stance. So you're bending those knees. Bring the heels in a little bit. So your feet are gonna be at 45. So that shortens the stance a little bit when you bring the heels in. Bring the blocks a little closer. You can keep your hands on the blocks if this is enough for you here, squeezing through your hips and your glutes and pulling your belly in. If you want to take it a little deeper, you can bring your forearms to your inner thighs. And while you're pressing back with your forearms, your inner thighs are squeezing in. So an isometric contraction. Again, this is only if you want to do it. You can keep your hands on the blocks and that's totally fine. So again, building strength in the hips. Keep breathing wherever you're at. Keep breathing, keep breathing. Keep breathing, keep breathing. And then if your hands are on those legs, bring them to your blocks. Everybody straighten the knees and go ahead and fold forward, releasing the low back. Lift up halfway to a flat back, just because a twist will feel good here. I know it's not a hip thing, but just because it feels good. Twist and reach that right arm up high to the sky. Reach. Exhale that right hand down. And then twist and reach the left arm up to the sky. And then left hand down. Beautiful. So now you're going to take your feet, take them a little wider. And both feet are going to be at a 45-degree angle again. Go ahead and bend that right knee. Take the blocks over to that right foot. And then I want you to come up on that left heel. So you're going to lift those left toes up. So you're getting to the inner left thigh. You're deepening that right hip crease. So stay here. Take a couple breaths. If If you want to use that right forearm to press that right knee back while the right knee squeezes in, you certainly can. It would look like that. You can certainly do that. If you want to just keep them on the blocks, that's fine. And then hands to the blocks, straighten the legs, come back to center, and go ahead and fold. Feet are out at 45, go ahead and lift up halfway to a flat back. Go ahead and bend that left knee deeply now this time. Come onto that right heel, so those toes lift up, that foot is flexed. Bring the blocks over to that left foot. You can stay right here. If you want to go a little deeper, take that left forearm and press that left leg back while that left leg squeezes in. There's where the strength comes in. And then inhale, release that left hand, straighten the legs, come back to center, and go ahead and fold. And then inhale, reach up halfway to a flat back. Bring your hands to your hips, and keeping that spine nice and long, come all the way to the stance. You gotta squeeze the legs, squeeze to the hips, squeeze to the butt, all the way up to the stance. Woo! And then toe, heel your feet back here. Okay, come have a seat on the floor now. And this is where you're gonna need your blankets or your stacked towels, something to raise your hips up on to make the poses a little bit more accessible. I don't think I need my blocks any more, so let's put this off to the side. So, depending on how open your hips feel or how tight your hips feel, that'll determine whether you sit flat on the floor or you have one blanket or two blankets or whatnot. So, whatever we're gonna call it, this is called, it's like both legs are at a 90-degree angle. So, your front leg, we're gonna start with the left leg first. So left leg, shin is gonna be parallel to the front of your mat. See if I scoot back a little bit. Left leg is parallel to the front of the mat. And then your back leg, your thigh is parallel to the front of your mat. So left leg, the front leg, your shin is parallel to the front of the mat. The back leg, the thigh is parallel. So they're both at 90 degrees. And so you see how I'm kind of dumping off to the side? This can be, if you have very tight hips, this can be a very uncomfortable pose for you. So how it makes it a little bit more comfortable. You can take your blankets or towels and set your hips up on those. So your hips are raised up, and then you can still get that left shin parallel to the front of the mat, and then that back thigh parallel to the front of the mat. So you're both at a 90-degree angle. Now you can sit up a little taller, a little better. So the left hand is going to press down onto your blankets or your towels, or the floor to help sit you up nice and tall and straight. And then once you're sitting here nice and tall and straight, the left hand is helping by pushing it down to help you sit up straight. You're going to engage that right thigh, like you're trying to squeeze that right thigh down into the mat below you. So squeeze, 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 squeeze. So you're using, again, your adductors to try and squeeze down. Engaging through the butt, engaging through the hips, it's building strength. Take a breath or two here. And then exhale, release. Swing that right leg around, so you're sitting all the way on your blankets now. And then you can stay seated on your blankets, shake the legs out. Bend the knees up. You can come up to a stance, or if you're able to, you can just shift the blankets. I like to have mine kind of on an angle because I think it works better, but if your blankets were straight across, that's totally fine too. So I'm going to shift my blankets on an angle. My right leg is going in front this time. Right shin is parallel to the front of the mat. Left thigh is parallel to the front of the mat. Both feet are flexed. Again, see how I was leaning, but with the blocks, or the blankets rather, I can sit up straighter. My right hand is pressing down into the mat, or the blankets, helping me to sit up nice and tall. And then once I'm sitting nice and tall, I want to try and squeeze that left thigh down towards the mat, like you're trying to suction your left inner thigh down into the mat. Activating that whole hip and the glute. Sit nice and tall here. Take a couple of breaths. And exhale, release, lean into that blanket, swing that left leg around. Again, you can stay seated on your blankets. You can square them off, shake off. Not shake off, shake out your legs a little bit. You can keep your hips on your blankets for this next pose as well, or you can come back to the floor. I'm gonna stay here just to show you what it looks like sitting on my blankets. So my hips are up on my blankets, my feet are flexed. Two options here for this next hip movement. You can take the right knee and cross it on top of the left knee as far as you can go. Key here is to keep both feet nice and flexed. If this is enough for you, stay right here. You're gonna sit nice and tall, and then you're just gonna lean forward a little bit. If you think you got a little bit more in you wanna go a little deeper, you'll come from this position and you'll bend that left leg back. So the knees are stacked on top of each other like this. Again, both feet stay flexed. And then again, you can walk your hands forward and fold. This is almost too tall for me. Like, I'm not that tall of a person. I need just one blanket. I'm gonna do blanket. Take a couple breaths where you're at. And then next inhale, slowly walk it up. Slowly uncross it. Or if you have both knees bent, kick that left leg out straight. And if you just had the one leg bent, go ahead and uncross that right ankle. Shake the legs out. You can pat it out. You can roll it out. Whatever feels good. Before we switch to the other side, we're just going to do a seated forward fold. So inhale, reach those arms out and up. And then exhale, round your spine and fold. And then inhale, come back on up. Same thing, other side. So this time you'll take the left ankle and cross it, or no, right ankle and cross it over. Which one did we? Yeah, right ankle, cross it over left knee. You can, wait, is that what I did? Sorry, left ankle over right knee. Sorry guys. Oh, I had a brain fart. And you can stay right here if that's enough and lean forward. Or left knee on top of right knee. That's why I'm getting confused. If this is enough for you, stay right here. If you want to go a little deeper, you can bend that right leg back. And so both knees are stacked on top of each other. You still keep the feet flexed. And then you can walk your hands forward to your degree. Next, inhale, slowly come up. If both legs are crossed, go ahead and bend or straighten out that bottom leg. And then uncross, everybody, the top leg, shake it out. You can pat it out, you can rub it out. And then our last pose is we're gonna come into a seated wide-legged pose. So again, your hips can stay still on the blocks just to raise you up, just to make it a little bit more comfortable. Go ahead and rock side to side. And next time you go to the left, stay going to the left. If you want to reach that right arm up overhead, you certainly can. Then inhale, come up. Exhale that arm down, shake it out. Go ahead and rock a little bit side to side. And next time you go to the right, stay on the right. And if you want to, you can add the left arm and reach overhead so it has a side body stretch too. Inhale. Inhale, come up, lower that hand down. Sit up nice and tall. It's, I promise, the last pose. And you're just going to walk your hands forward to your degree and fold. Inhale, walk the hands back up. Slowly bring the legs back together. Go ahead and scoot your bum forward if you were sitting on a block. You can use that blanket as a neck roll. Come lay down. Take your legs away from each other, your arms away from each other, your palms facing up. Let your bodies be heavy and settle into your Shavasana. If you are able to stay here a little bit longer in your Shavasana, please, please, please do so. If not, you can begin to wiggle your fingers, your toes, deepen your breath. Reach those arms up overhead, full body stretch, stretch the legs down long. And then bend the knees up and roll off to your right side. Pause there for a breath or two. And then when you're ready, come back to a comfortable seated position. Keeping your eyes closed, bring your hands to your heart center. Thank you guys for practicing with me here today. I greatly appreciate all your love and all your support. And remember, we are all going through something. So try not to pass judgment because somebody didn't behave or respond or say something that you thought they should or shouldn't have said or done. Because we don't know what they're going through. So have empathy, have kindness, and give them a pass. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. And may your mind be at ease. Together we bow and say, Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Mwah. Hope you're all doing well. It's going to get some snow here, I guess. They said overnight into tomorrow. Some places may have up to 6 inches to a foot of snow. Woo. Tom and Mike, not for you and Judy down in Columbus, but here up in Cleveland, and not for you, Anna and St. Croix, but here up in our Clevelander people, yeah, we're going to get some snow. So stay warm, hunker down, wear your masks, and take care of yourselves. Love you guys. Mwah. Have a good one. Bye.